Good afternoon. When Priscilla came today, known for Priscilla for years, she said, "Is it a service today or a concert?" I said, "Oh, well, yeah." It's a service. Well, no, it's sort of like a concert. Well, it's sort of like the service with a concert. It's a concert with a service. It's sort of all that. I don't know what you were expecting when you were coming today, but if you thought we weren't going to have singing, you just went to the wrong church. And if you thought it was going to be Broadway singing Joan Sheridan, where are you? You came on the wrong day. Okay, so we still have another one to go. Thank you all for being here this afternoon. It's really quite amazing to see you all, especially after I saw so many of you at the dinner that we had just last week. And I was talking to Anthony about this today on the phone. He said, you know, remember when you were counting this down and counting it down, and all of a sudden, guess what? It's here. And it's here. Yes, it's amazing. It's hard to believe that it's come down to, after 31 years, that here we are, many with some of my closest and dearest friends, and some people that I've just gotten to know recently, and people who I've known for many, many years intensely, and some I've just learned to meet and love intensely in just the past few months. You ever remember the preacher Spooner? You ever heard of this preacher Spooner? He would always get his words mixed up, especially when he got nervous like I just did. Get his words mixed up, and his most famous one, he would turn things around. And instead of saying on one Sunday, getting up on Psalm 23, "The Lord is a loving shepherd," he got up and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Lord is a shoving leopard." So fast life fast, whatever, fast forward, here we go. When I was looking at the lessons for today, it was really, really uncanny, because the lessons that were picked for today were not lessons that I picked. They were lessons that are picked by the National Church years ahead of time, and these are the ones that just happen to be for this Sunday. But I thought to myself, oh my gosh, they couldn't have been any more apropos in so many ways. There's so many things in those lessons that speak to me, and maybe they spoke to you as you were hearing them read. There were certain things that you might have said to yourself, oh, I see why he picked this. Well, I didn't. Somebody else did. And maybe it's, if you believe in luck, it's luck, or maybe if you believe in serendipity, it's serendipity. Whatever it is that you believe in, I think it's really interesting that they should come down to these particular lessons. The first one, for those of you who know me a long time, you know that it's really hard to get through a sermon without a joke. So the first one reminded me of a joke. Now listen. Do you know the story about Elijah and Jesus playing golf together? Well, you'll hear it now. Elijah and Jesus were playing golf together. And Elijah gets up and he tees off, and he hits the ball, and he hits it right smack into the pond. No problem. He goes down to the edge of the pond, hits the pond with the edge of his mantle. The pond parks. He goes to the middle, chips up on the green right near the hole. So now it's Jesus' turn. So Jesus tees off, and it goes way far into another pond. No problem. He goes down there and goes like this, and all of a sudden this frog jumps out of the pond with the ball in his mouth, jumps up and flies up in the air, when an eagle comes down, picks up the frog, and takes him right to the hole and drops the ball. Elijah goes over to Jesus and says, I hate playing golf with your father. The lessons speak to me in various ways today. This other part of the lesson, here, I thought, boy, this must have been written for me when it says in the second lesson on page 4 back there, it says, it is absolutely clear that God has called you to a free life. I thought, yeah, that's what it is. Now, people who tell me that retirement is not a free life, that you're busier than you've ever been before once you're retired. And how many people here are retired? Is it true?
Yes.
Are you busier now, Fran, than you were before?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Is it because you're doing everybody else's bidding, or is it actually get some of your own?
No, it's because I'm doing what I want to do, and there are a lot of things I want to do.
Okay. Well, people have asked me what I'm going to do. It probably is not a surprise to you that I've already formed a theater company in Bethany Beach, and we are signed up to do, in January we start rehearsals for Noises Off, which Yvonne and I did years ago. And then we're going to be doing More is Lesser, which is a musical version of the songs of Frank Lesser, who wrote Guys and Dolls, Most Happy Fella, and How to Succeed in Business, among other things. He also wrote Tiny Bubbles. What was he thinking? Tiny Bubbles. Don Ho said that he thought it was the worst song he had ever heard, and of course it made him famous. But I'm going to be doing that. That's one of the things I'm going to be doing in retirement. But one of the other things I'm going to be doing in retirement, I'm sure, is also having a chance to experience some new freedoms. Freedoms I haven't had for a long time, and that's why I thought that especially the lesson today spoke to me about freedom. Freedom, people say, are you sad about today? Yes, I am, in many ways. But I must tell you that also I'm very, very happy because it feels good to be going out on top. It feels good to be going out with so many people who are here to say goodbye, and it's not a sad going in that respect. It is a joyful opportunity for us all to be together, and that fills my heart greatly. And so it's hard for me to be sad when there's so much happiness that the day brings with it. The other thing that I thought about was in the lessons for this morning, this afternoon rather, for the story of Elijah and Elisha, and Elijah turning over the mantle to Elisha, and Jesus talking to the people that he's meeting along the road and they want to follow him, is this whole idea of farewell. In the story, Elijah says goodbye to Elisha and says, may I take on your mantle? And he says, yes, and all of a sudden this bunch of chariots come down from heaven and take him up to heaven, and Elisha's standing there, and he goes and then does what I just told you about in the joke. He goes and hits the lake that's there, the Sea of Gennesaret, with his mantle, and the sea parts. He's trying to say that the mantle had been passed on. And in the story this afternoon that we hear about Jesus calling the different disciples and apostles to follow him, one of the things that he says to the one man, who seems very, very hurt, the guy says, yeah, I'd like to follow you, but let me go bury my father first. And what does Jesus say? Let the dead bury the dead. That's how it's translated in the other one. And it seems like a really smart now remark, but what was he trying to say? Let it go, yeah. Well, what else? Well, maybe the dead don't need you. Maybe they do.
Embrace the moment now.
Embrace the moment now. That's a part of it. Move on. How about people always have an excuse? What's a good excuse? What's a real excuse? I remember when we were at St. Andrew's, my former parish, and those people who won the vestry may remember this, that we used to have a bylaw that said if you missed more than 3 meetings, you were asked to leave the vestry, unless you had an excuse, a legitimate excuse. So the question was, what was a legitimate excuse? And some people, as it went on, and they were trying to get their excuses in there, they got to be more elaborate and more elaborate. You know, it's about after the person's grandmother had died for the 9th time, you had to say, you know, how many more times can she be resurrected before we have to really say it's time to move on. And the same thing is happening here. Jesus saying everybody has an excuse as to why they can't go on and do what they are called to do. But the reason to do it is because there is no waiting. The world is calling. Seize the day, seize the moment, just move on. And that's sort of what today is about. It's a matter of seizing the moment, in my case, to go and do something else, but it's also a matter of seizing the moment, in your case, for the people who will remain in the congregation here. It's a challenge, a hello, a wake-up moment to say, it's happened, here we are, we're here, and now the mantle is being passed on to you. And you can either pick it up, or you can go a different way. But if you can seize the day, seize the moment, and just run with the moment, it is a wonderful moment. And all you have to worry about is this moment. You don't have to worry about the next moment or the moment after that. Just take the moment in front of you and go with that. And that's really what I think today is all about. I don't know how you felt, but after I heard the kids sing this afternoon, it was a wonderful moment. I wanted to sit and revel in that moment. It was great. And I thought it was going to be really, really sad, Rebecca and Paul. But instead, it just really filled me. It just made me so joyful. And maybe you can hear that in my voice. And then hear Pam and Frank sing a song that I've known since my childhood. I saw Karen, you knew it, you were singing it up there along with them. See, I saw you all the way in the back corner there. You thought I couldn't see you, but she was singing, she knew all the words. I knew some of the words. I don't know all the, it's an old Methodist hymn, and I'm not an old Methodist. Are you an old Methodist?
No, we're old Catholics.
Oh, Catholic. I don't think they sang that song. Did they sing that song in the Roman Catholic Church? I walked in the garden alone. No, I didn't think so. Because you couldn't walk into the garden alone. You had to have Mary and everybody else. Yeah. When I heard you sing that and just sing it so beautifully a cappella, I mean, I just thought, what a wonderful moment. And that's why people clap, because it was a wonderful moment. And then singing with you all and singing Seasons of Love, which talks about what I think that we are about as a choir and what we're trying to bring together as and lead the church with, is a real, when people want to look back and say, well, what was it like in those last moments, those last days or whatever, it'd be really great to say, you know what, for me, it was a season of love. It really was. The last part of it, even if it just was a little bit of a few minutes to sing it. It took us a long time to practice it and get it down to where we wanted to be, but it was a whole season of love. We really, really worked on it hard, and people spent a lot of time coming and being part of it. That was just really the moment. It was, I wanted to rejoice in that moment. And that's why it's even harder to sit down now and stop speaking, because I want to keep talking, I want to keep rejoicing in the moment. But I know there's other things that are ahead, and we need to do those also. One of the things that I thought about today was the lessons are about farewells, and I was wondering about what type of farewell, what a farewell actually means. And I want to just spend a few minutes talking about that with you all this afternoon, about what it is that farewell means. It means to say, fare thee well, be well, go on. And it implies with it something very, very important. What does a farewell imply with it? Well, the separation, maybe, maybe not. Maybe there is no separation, it's just a farewell. In fact, I think it implies just the opposite of separation. Till we meet again, yeah, that's it. I think that's what it is. It's a till we meet again, and with it comes with the idea of that you are going with this person's or this group of people's blessing. That you're going with a blessing that you can take out with you, and it's yours, and it's shared, and it's something that you take with you, and until you get into those person's arms again. That's what it is. When we're saying today, I can't, Corinne teased me for months and said, Sean's in St. Andrews, and I never thought I would ever see those people again, perhaps, when I left, and here some of them are again here today. And some people, like I said, that I've just known a short time, some people I've known a long time. Each time I say goodbye, I really, really only meant farewell until we have a chance to see each other again, because that's really what is implied in farewell. And when we see each other again, then the neat thing about it is if it was a true friendship, a true relationship, or even if it was just, maybe we never got to bring it along that line, and we have a chance now to start over again, you can just pick up where you left off. And I'm hoping that people will feel free to pick up wherever they left off today with me at any time, and with Anthony and Lisa and the dogs. Can't go without the dogs. I have a pillow on my sofa at home that says, "No outfit is complete without dog hair." So you have to have the dogs too. On our street, we're known as the minister with the dogs. They just leave Anthony out of there. Not sure what he does. He's an acolyte. That's the ministering to the dogs, yes. Although he feels that he does minister to the dogs, and the dogs are sure that that's all he's there for. So, you just have to go with that. The whole idea of being able to say farewell is something that I want to say to you. I hope, it is my hope, that not only will I fare well not being in your presence, but that you'll fare well not having a chance to be with me, and that whatever it is that you do in your life, it will fare well. I want that, that's the thing that I wish for you most, that it would be a good going, a good next step. There are people here today whose children I've baptized. There are people here who I've married. There are people here who I've buried their parents. There are people who I've gone through every aspect of life with. And here we are still faring. And I think, I don't know what you think, but I think, at least looking from where I am up here, you're faring very well. You look good for having been in my life for 31 years. You look damn good. And I hope the next time I see you, I can say to you, gee, you look really damn good, sir. You really do. And we'll just pick up where we left off. So many surprises today. My former secretary, Fran is here. I was floored. And nobody told me. Joni kept that secret very, very well, Jenny. That's really nice. To see Priscilla here today. I haven't had a chance to talk to Priscilla in a while.
She's getting to be very old.
Yes. And Pauline, who last I knew you were out in Arizona.
That's where I am.
Okay, so how did I know that was going to happen today? People who came and showed up today, it's just very, very, very touching. And I want, as we go on, that we fare well together. So today what I want to say to you is this. There's a beautiful poem that I learned when I was doing my master's thesis on Harriet Beecher Stowe. This is a poem she wrote. This is a poem I dedicate to you. It goes like this. Once in an age, God sends to each of us someone who sees in us not a false imagining, an unreal character, but looking through the rubbish of our imperfections, sees in us the divine ideal of our nature. Sees not the person that we are, but the angel that we may be. You're all angels of my life. Farewell.